Let's do it. Let's talk about logistics.
The best title for a chapter ever.
I think so. Difficult to say and understand. How would you explain logistics to a layman?
It's the general, recognisable and universal, as much as anything is universal, processes around loss.
Both emotional and practical?
Like starting a new job in week 1, if you can find the kettle, you are winning. And a year in, you can probably talk about it with some authority.
So this chapter is like the new starter pack you get on your desk at a new job, in a canvas tote of grief.
Yes, lots of it you might already know, like how to use Microsoft Office.
Though even with Microsoft Office, there were always shameful bits of it I felt I should know but didn't. Did a lot of stealthy Googling in my early career, but that's more difficult to do with loss.
Yeah, though people shouldn't be afraid to Google or look for people who are talking about it. They might not be able to help, but there might be that one person who says, switch it off and on again, and it totally resonates.
The IT department of loss. I do think the searching out of info is an interesting one because we both have wildly different approaches to it. You wanted to know everything there was to know about it all, immersed yourself in a world of grief.
Yeah, I love solutions. I would have paid to join a club, legit. I wore that shit like a really depressing fancy dress outfit.
Whereas if someone had offered to pay me to join a club, I would have punched them in the face and torched the clubhouse.
Do you think that you'd wrestled it all into the box and were scared to pop the lid off, or it was your private box?
Private box. Hands off my box. It's my mum, my sacred relationship, and my sadness, and nobody got to touch it until it was ready. Whereas through that search of information, you found nuggets of wisdom that helped you through it.
Symptomatic of the families we grew up in, right?
Very much.
Yep. One friend basically told me it'd be really, really shit for a long time, and I was like, wonderful, expectations managed. And then a colleague said I wouldn't be myself for a couple of years, and she was absolutely right.
Did you find power in just knowing that there was a period of time allotted for you to not be okay in?
Yes, completely. I felt like the pressure was off, because it can feel endless, right?
I still very much have times where I feel like it's never going to be okay, but my timeline was very different to yours.
Because of the loss, that it reset your expectations for life.
I think I had so much fear throughout my life that my mum would die, hello, abandonment issues, that when she did, it was everything I'd ever feared could happen come true. So to actually spend time in it and look at it and experience it was impossible. I think I'd have thrown up my heart.
Of course, because what's the point if everything you dread is bound to happen?
Exactly. So I necessarily had to not look at it until there was a bit of distance between me and it, which has massively elongated the grieving process. But now I'm looking at it and haven't vomited any vital organs.
Yeah, you're definitely in a better place. No longer refuse to talk about it and all. But it has been a long one. But I suppose that's who you are. You're moderate. You don't have massive emotional outbursts. I do. Pretty frequently.
I am very considered. I rarely take an action without thinking about it a lot first. But you went through your all-encompassing mourning moment straight away. How long did that last for you?
I hit it hard and fast. I think for the first few months, I did the 7 steps almost daily. There was loads of crying. I told everyone I knew about it. I fixated on the moment that she went. I had a tattoo. I wore one of her jumpers all the time. I really put some time in with my low-level eating disorder. I just revelled in it. Like Freshers Week when you realise you can pick a new identity. I did that, but my identity was a grieving person.
I have this image of you in full mourning regalia.
Mate, if I could have got a veiled hat, I would have.
Black lace and embroidered handkerchief.
I wore feathers for her funeral. She would have gone wild.
Oh, that is excellent.
I was in the position that I could and did give up my job and go back home, though, and I had the time and space to go to town on it. Do you think real life made you box it quicker?
I threw myself back into real life because I needed to not look at it. I went back to work straight away, spent a lot of time crying in toilets, being sad by myself, developed a crushing anxiety disorder, stopped eating and threw myself into a damaging relationship, none of which I would advise as a coping mechanism. I just did anything to not look at what happened, and I felt such a responsibility to other people to be what they needed, which I thought was to be okay. I don't think I spent any time on it. I just cleared out my wardrobe a lot and then felt guilty because I wasn't spending time on her.
I definitely believed that you had it more together than you did.
Everybody did.
But it suits people to think that, because there is no bigger drag than being the long-term sad person. Or that's what you tell yourself when you're the long-term sad person.
True, true. So then, when you started to come out of your intense few months, what did that feel like?